G'day everyone. I am very excited because I'm sort of at a point where I'm really confident in something that is excitingly developing and I want to get your feedback on it. So for context, anyone who's been watching this vlog in the last couple of weeks will probably have come across the conversation about the coloring book that we're developing. This has evolved now because we actually, we're almost done and we had 45 landscape and 55 portrait. And what we're actually doing is taking some of those portrait ones, putting them into the landscape side of things and making some environments to fill it out so that then we'll have 50 of each. Because then what we can do is have a volume A, which is portrait, and a volume B, which is landscape. So there'll be two 50-page books. So you can, in theory, what we're working towards is being able to get either of the books or both of them in a bundle, or a very special extra mega bundle with a pack of markers that will come with it. So this is what's been developing, and this is what I want to update you on and get your feedback on. And I'm really excited because I'm actually feeling really confident, but also, it's this dialogue, this back and forth and getting feedback is really helpful. So for context, the very first art box I put out included a set of 12 markers. These were the Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers. They let me pick my own set. It was my first ever experience in curating the set that I put together. Slight confession, I think I had like a third-ish of the collection of Spectrum Noir at the time. So I kind of this is like 6 years ago, I think. I had to pick the 12 markers based on what I had in front of me, and I don't think I was brave enough to guess anything from the website. So I did the best, but I actually wasn't even picked from the whole collection, but it was still a really, it's a really good set of 12. That's the thing too, is a lot of these marker sets, 12, 24, 48, aren't very well thought out for illustrators, in my opinion. I think often they're sort of constructed for product design or graphic design, which is kind of a more dated approach. And illustration and novels and paintings and all that stuff is sort of more of a realistic current use of them. So anyways, this was the first ever venture into creating illustrator packs. Then there was the much more recent, this was just around 2 years ago, my 26, so this was actually 24. It says 26 piece because it comes with 2 trays. So this was double the amount of markers. This time, I got the whole collection of Spectrum Noir markers, and I got to pick my set of 24 based on that. And this was the result, and it was a vast improvement over the original 12. I also was really proud that there was barely any crossover. So anyone who got the original 12 would actually be building their collection. I was really proud of that. But as you can see, we sort of start to cover much more area. We go from just having think of this, we have primaries and there's a purple, a green. Here we can start to have a couple of purples, a couple of greens, more browns and greys, which are hugely important. So you can do a lot more with these, and I did demonstrate doing quite a lot with them. However, a set of 24 markers can be very useful, but it is limiting. The reality is, if you have a piece that's like a beautiful forest on a sunny morning, and then another piece which is like a dragon in a desaturated cave with a green fire, the tones are so different, you're going to want more range, and that's where you'll start to feel the limitations of more limited sets. So the point I'm trying to get to is this is the first time in constructing a set that I'm really, really excited because I don't feel that compromise. And I actually got it to put it into the test. I got to put it to the test over the last few days. So last you guys were updated on the vlog. Let me flip this. This is where I got up to. So ignore the crosses and the other colors. This whole block in here was my semi-final selection of 48 colors. And I got to put those to the test over the last 3 days. And the results were really cool. And I felt like I was really, really close to having an experience where I actually created 4 pieces. I don't want to spoil too much because there's it's a main channel video coming out. So what can I spoil? I think I already spoiled this one, so I'll spoil this one because I think I showed this in yesterday's vlog. So this is my interpretation of Shelob from Lord of the Rings. There are 3 other pieces, just as ambitious and very exciting. But as you can see, this is one where I had a clear vision. I went with I wanted an acidic, sort of light, pallid glow coming from the center of this belly. I wanted to go to pitch black and mix into the purple shadows, have hues of blue and green mixing all throughout. And this is all just so I just felt like I could just follow the idea I had and just go nuts and get exactly what I want. And the other 4 pieces were just they're very visually distinctly different from each other. So it was a great experience because I got to feel my way through. God, I need a stand. I'm resting it on markers. So the notes I made were, I needed a soft orange because I had a strong orange, but I didn't have anything for there was a lot of fire tinting and stuff I was doing with one of the pieces. And I'm there were a bunch of these colors I just didn't go near. And after recalculating, really strong ones like this one and this one are a bit too shockingly strong and don't really mix well with the whole vibe. And I tend to find that you can build up to strength with markers, whereas you really can't, it takes a lot to soften back to subtlety. So I've swapped one of these for a soft orange. I've swapped this one for a really soft green. It's like a greeny yellow because I didn't have lighter or softer than that. And I did a foresty piece and I really felt lack of that. So now I have what I call a tinting color in each of the colors now. So a tinting yellow, which I had a lighter yellow, but it was a bit hard to notice. So I ended up going with this one. So I've swapped that out. Got a yellow, got a super light blue, super light greeny blue, like an aqua blue. No, that's aqua is border. I don't know, greeny blue. Turquoise, maybe I should say. A super light green, and then now super light orange, and I've got super light pinks and purple. So this just gives you a huge amount of subtle range to sort of tint and flavor the hues, and then there's just so much more on top of that. Then I just did minor tweaks throughout. But the main thing I'm getting at is I've recreated this and sort of tweaked the order. This is the final presentation of my currently final selection of 48 markers. I'll give you a good look at that. I'm really happy with this. I'm interested if right off the bat anything jumps out to you as missing. I will say, if you're going to suggest, hey, do a blah, blah, say a color, whatever feels like missing, it needs to replace something on here. And that's the challenge, right? And what I've found, and there are some colors where when I said, okay, I'm going to cut this one and this one, my test is, well, can I make those clearly in very few steps confidently? And the answer is yes. So I'll actually show you because I have some experiments here. It's so messy. So this is one that I wanted to recreate, which I did over here, which I actually prefer the recreation, which I believe was just the VO70, and then I put in the, I think it was this one, 280. I just mixed in a hue of the sort of more lipstick natural desaturated red, and it came up with a more natural, richer purple mauve color. That worked really well. Same here with this green. The original, again, quite shocking, which was a problem I had, but even in cutting that, by mixing 2 colors, it was, I believe, this one and this one, we end up with something identical or very, very near identical, and again, quite a bit softer and able to mix with the whole batch. So there's been a lot of experimentation, as you can tell, trying to make sure which light pink am I going to get? I think that's, to be honest, that's probably actually the only thing I feel slightly doubtful about right now is the pink, which is this one, R9. Reason being, my feeling of doubt just comes from the fact that it feels a little bit highlightery, just a touch fluoro, only barely. The reason I'm staying with that one for now is because I think when someone wants a pink, to do a pink bow or something really pink, you want a strong pink. You can't actually build up to a pink like that with any other combination, which is why I opted to sort of keep that. I did cut the darker, more garish pink, that one there, but also could recreate that by mixing the pink that I'm keeping and another color. So the long and short of it is, I've been doing a lot of experimenting. This is what all the ones I'm currently loving at the moment look like, all arrayed out here. It's a very substantial set of 48 markers. It's all a work in progress. Everything's a work in progress. I need to sort of say that, nice and clearly, because who knows if this will happen or not. We're just working very hard to develop this. But, I love involving you guys in this process and would love to get your feedback. So one last time, here is the collection. The lighting's terrible in here, so it's not very clear for you, but that's probably the most important thing to check out. And that is in comparison to the this list. I'm making it very hard for you to make out by filming it in that lighting. So as you can see, quite a bit more expansive and able to tackle so much more with a huge range of subtlety and extremity, which I'm really happy with. Okay, so that wraps it for this little demonstration. I would love to get your feedback, and also let me know what you think about the 2 books of 50 pages. Any feedback you have in this whole thing. Does this sound like something you would get? And if so, what bit? Like one of the coloring books, the set of markers? I'm just interested in your impression on all of this. But I will also wrap up with a question of the day, helpfully printed out by definitely not a fake account. During your long career, have you found something that you can create all the time and not get tired of it? 100%. The answer is pretty much just anything medieval fantasy. If it's dragons, if it's knights, if it's cities and combat and armies and armor and all that stuff. I just love it. Fantasy. It's my jam. When I used to do game design and stuff, like every game idea, when I'd try and do something different, like, do something sci-fi. I get bored of everything that isn't medieval fantasy. I just love it. Stuff like the World of Warcraft vibe, Game of Thrones, just all different flavors of doing that stuff. Absolutely love it. Anyway, I'm not saying words well today. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.